People generally think of Hitler at the Eagle's Nest. He spent over 800 days at the Wolf's Lair. It was by far the most used of all his headquarters.
For 70 years, historians thought they knew every secret weapon Nazi Germany built during World War II. The V-2 rockets, the jet planes, and the experimental weapons that came too late to matter. All of it seemed studied, recorded, and understood. But in April 1945, American soldiers entered a hidden German hangar and found something that shouldn't have been there. It was a plane unlike anything they had ever seen, made with technology far ahead of its time, built to do something no other aircraft could do then. What they found that day stayed secret for decades, and the reason for that is startling. But to understand it, we first have to go back and see where this story really starts. The impossible demand. Building something that ambitious needed huge amounts of money, workers, and time, things Germany barely had. Many engineers suggested bold ideas, but resources were tight, and other projects came first. By 1943, the two Horten brothers finally got funding and materials. But by then, the situation was desperate. Germany was losing the war badly. British and American bombers destroyed cities night after night. Factories burned, and the Luftwaffe was running out of planes and pilots. Hermann Göring, head of the Air Force, needed a miracle weapon, fast. He issued a wild challenge to every German aircraft company. Project $3,1000. The task seemed impossible. Build a plane that could carry 1,000 kilograms of bombs, fly 1,000 kilometers, and reach 1,000 kilometers per hour. To put that in context, the fastest fighter planes then barely hit 700 kilometers per hour diving, and heavy bombers moved around 400. Regular piston engines couldn't reach Göring's numbers, and jet engines burned fuel too quickly to cover the distance. On paper, it didn't work. Almost everyone thought it was crazy. But the Horten brothers saw a solution no one else did. Their flying wing design cut air resistance drastically. Less drag meant less fuel used at high speeds. It was the only design that could possibly meet all three requirements. They submitted plans for the Ho 229. Göring didn't laugh or dismiss them. What followed would push German aviation into a level of engineering the world wouldn't see again for decades. The hidden factories. The full purpose of the Ho 229 became clearer when American intelligence officers uncovered secret documents in safes at the facility. The papers revealed that the Ho 229 wasn't just a fighter or bomber. It was built to carry exactly 1,000 kilograms, a number that wasn't random. That weight matched a special weapon Germany was quietly developing. A dirty bomb. Germany never completed an atomic bomb like the ones dropped on Japan, but they were working on something else. A dirty bomb combines conventional explosives with radioactive material from nuclear experiments. When it detonates, the blast itself isn't huge, but the radiation spreads over a wide area, making it uninhabitable for years. The goal isn't to destroy buildings with force, it's to poison the land and drive people away. The Ho 229 was ideal for this. It could fly so fast that radar stations would only spot it minutes before it arrived, leaving almost no time to respond. Documents even listed potential targets, including London and Allied Army positions in Belgium. Even more shocking were blueprints for an enormous version called the Ho 68. This plane would have 6 jet engines, 3 times the size of the Ho 229, and enough fuel to reach New York or Washington. But building these planes in large numbers seemed impossible while Allied bombers were destroying German factories, unless the Nazis had hidden production somewhere safe from attack. The flying wing design. The story of this unusual plane begins with 2 German brothers who had an idea everyone else thought was impossible. Walter and Reimar Horten grew up in the 1920s, a time when Germany wasn't allowed to have military aircraft. The Treaty of Versailles banned them after World War I, but gliders, planes without engines, were still allowed, and they became very popular. The Horton brothers spent weekends on hills, building and flying simple wooden gliders. Most people saw it as a hobby, but the brothers noticed a problem. Every plane back then had a long body, wings on the sides, a tail, and fins. All those extra parts created drag, slowing the plane. More drag meant bigger engines, and more fuel were needed just to keep flying. The Hortens imagined something different. What if you removed everything except the wing? No separate body, no tail, no fins, just one big curved wing that could lift, steer, and carry everything inside. Simple in theory, but no one had made it work in a real aeroplane. They started small, building models in their garage from plywood and glue. When tested, these strange shapes flew smoother and stayed in the air longer than normal planes. The next challenge was turning a backyard experiment into a real war machine, a task that required resources, technology, and support the brothers didn't have yet. The stolen future. The Nazis began moving much of their work underground, where Allied bombs couldn't reach. In the Owl Mountains, in what is now Poland, they dug a massive network of tunnels called Ries, meaning giant. Prisoners from concentration camps built it, and tens of thousands died. These weren't simple caves. The tunnels stretched for kilometers, with train tracks inside and rooms tall enough for entire locomotives. There were spaces for heavy machinery, huge ventilation systems, and power stations strong enough to run assembly lines. The plan was to move aircraft production entirely underground, safe from bombing, but time ran out. On February 18, 1945, test pilot Erwin Ziller flew the second Ho-229 prototype. At 800 meters, the right engine caught fire. Ziller tried to save it, but the plane had no tail to balance it. With one engine out, it went into a spin and crashed. Ziller died, and the prototype was destroyed. 3 weeks later, American troops arrived in Friedrichsroda and found the third Ho-229 in the hangar, almost complete, but never flown. They carefully disassembled it, packed it in crates, and shipped it to America. It remained hidden in Smithsonian storage for decades. Meanwhile, American engineers studied the designs, using the flying wing concept to eventually create the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. In 2009, a replica of the Ho-229 was tested against 1940s radar. The results were clear. It would have been nearly invisible, showing up as just a small bird instead of a full-sized plane. The Nazis lost the war, but their ideas lived on and influenced the future of aviation. In the end, the weapon that might have changed the war never got the chance. The Ho-229 stayed hidden, unfinished, and forgotten as the Third Reich fell. Could it have changed history if it had flown sooner? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this story interesting, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more stories like this in the coming weeks. Until next time, take care.